What in the world was that? What did we just watch? We watched a Broncos win 31-13 over the Indianapolis Colts. And my God, that was bizarre. Gonna get to all that and more post-game live. Ball. Broncos have won. Mile High Magic is back, baby. There is no flipping doubt about it. Stadium rocking. Thank you, Jonathan Taylor, for changing the momentum of this game. Thank you to the Denver Broncos for getting that win. My God, it looked rough. It's not great, Bob. At least offensively. I do believe I heard the broadcast say this was the first time this season that an NFL team has not gained over 200 all-purpose yards and still won by over 10. Again, could be wrong on that, but that's what I thought I heard. Anyway, chat room, react to me. The Broncos are 90% sure of going to the playoffs now, thanks to Baker the Baby Maker and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking down the Chargers. We know the Broncos leapfrog them. A big game coming up on Thursday night. A big game to go over for the Broncos. Win is a win is a win. And that's all that matters. It doesn't matter that it was ugly. Doesn't matter that they couldn't get much going offensively. It just matters that they won. And that's exactly what this Broncos team did. Again, 31-13, the final score. I can't believe it. Like, it's definitely a bit of a shock based on the way that offense was playing. But they were able to get it done. And I am here to talk about it with you. And it's a celebration as the Broncos are over 500. They'll finish with an over 500 record now with 9 wins. And this is the first time since 2016 they've been able to do that. Now, the year after Super Bowl 50, they didn't go to the postseason. They were above 500, but they did not go to the postseason. So, Broncos, job ain't nothing easy out there. Job's not over yet. Make sure you get to the playoffs. But as of now, it looks like the 6th seed is theirs. It looks like they're moving on up, and it looks like a team that knows how to win, even when it seems like you can't win. Like, it ended up being a blowout, okay? 31-13. There is no doubt. There is no question. But at certain points of this game, and certainly in that third quarter, you come out, Colts are going to drive. They're going to go up in this one. Jonathan Taylor does a boneheaded move where he drops the ball before he crosses the goal line. Broncos get the ball, and then just the defense takes over. So, and the great thing about this is still haven't played a perfect game. Certainly offensively, they did not play a perfect game. Defensively, though, they rally. Thank you, Lord. I want all of us, no matter who you worship, say your prayers tonight and thank the Lord above for Marvin Mims. Like, thank you, Marvin, for making those plays, special teams wise, dash on offense. Thank you, Lord above, for this Broncos defense getting it done. Anthony Richardson with a couple of picks, couple of sacks. You had the basically fumble recovery returned for a touchdown. That's what they classify Nick Bonitto. Would have been nice if it was another pick 6 for Nick Bonitto, but that was a fumble recovery because it was a throwback. And then he does the Marshawn jumping into the end zone, holding the ball up here, holding the ball down there. Like, did that. That was fun. Got a flag for it. Who cares? Like, whatever. It's a great celebration. Thank you, Marshawn Lynch. And thank you, Nick Bonitto, for coming through. So, yeah, I mean, this is on the defense for getting it done. And the team's got to figure out a way. It's a big win. It's a win. And that's all that matters. Maybe there's Bo Nix haters that'll be like, oh, 3 picks. Like, okay, I've already told you on the fan, Dover and Cecil, 10 a.m. to 2. I've already said, like, when Bo throws a game with 3-4 picks, I'm not going to lose my mind. I'm not losing my mind over Bo Nix. In fact, as I left the stadium, I have to leave the stadium at halftime so I can come home and do the postgame show. Wish I could do it at the stadium, but that's not per NFL policy. I'm not allowed to stream live, although I think other places do. Non-TV broadcast stations stream live from the stadium. Either way, I'm just saying. As I left and I heard the second pick, and Susie Wargen, the sideline reporter for KOA, congrats on 100 years, KOA. She said, like, Sean Payton was yelling at Sutton after the first pick, and then he was yelling at Sutton after the second pick. So were those things, and I'll watch the coach's tape tonight, but were those things where those picks were on Sutton? Yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm driving home, ready to do the post-game show. Don't know. Just passing on what Susie said on the broadcast about, like, hey, I got yelled at a couple of times after each pick. So were those on Sutton? I'm not sure. Big E texted me. What's up, brother? Yeah, texted about that Broncos game. Anyway, so, like, you know, the Bo Nix picks, like, okay, you won, and you won big, and the Mile High Magic has returned. There is no doubt. There is no question. I asked y'all on Twitter a couple of weeks ago after the Browns game. I asked on the show after the Browns game. I said, is the Mile High Magic back? And I think the answer is not yes. It's hell yes. This is what Mile High Magic is. They had no business winning that game based on their offensive performance, and they did because the defense and special teams rise up. Isn't that a Testament song? Yeah, they rise up and they perform at an incredibly high level, and you love to see it. This defense, listen, Anthony Richardson is a fine athletic talent, but when Bengals defenders, might want to put a note in that, Bengals defenders are no good. But when Bengals defenders in joint practices this summer are saying he doesn't read a defense, he doesn't know what he's looking at. And then you go out there and watch the game against the Broncos. Was he above 50% passing? 17 of 38? No. It's below 50% passing. Again, only 2 games has he been above 50% passing. So athletic talent like Ben Roethlisberger, sure. Tough to bring down like Ben Roethlisberger, yes. Rocket arm like Josh Allen, yep. Runs like he's Cam Newton, yep. Can't read a defense. Doesn't know where he's going with the football. So a bounce back game from Vance Joseph's unit, although it looked at times like you were not stopping Richardson as a runner. He was tough to bring down. You were not stopping Jonathan Taylor. Again, Taylor changes the whole momentum of this game. And the great thing about football, like as a basketball fan, and those that have known me my whole life, like Big E texted me, what's up, Big E? They know me as a basketball guy, even though most of you out there know me as a football guy. Basketball is a game of runs, so it's like 10 points, even 20 points. Like, yeah, whatever, I'll get back. Football is a game where when you can make good plays, make them because the ball's not going to bounce your way all the time. And the ball was not offensively bouncing in the Broncos' way at all whatsoever. And then it bounced their way defensively, and the defense just took over. And Marvin Mims and special teams just took over. And Tremont Smith, I still don't. They had a better camera on that. I think Tremont Smith got that one. They called it a touchback, but maybe his foot was on the line or whatever. But a great play, a little volleyball move there from Tremont Smith to bat that thing back in. But you figure out a way. And the great teams always do that. The great teams will figure out a way when it seems unlikely, when it seems improbable, when it seems like you're getting your ass kicked and there's no way possible that you could possibly get back into this game. The great teams figure out a way. Are the Broncos a great team yet? No. I think they're a very good team with the chance to be great, but the offense can't bring up the rear. I mean, the offense just stinking up the joint for most of today. The defense comes through. When the two click, and basically next year, because you can't run the ball. I'll get to that a little bit later, but like the three-headed committee thing, it just doesn't work. Where's Tyler Bidet? Where's Blake Watson? Where's Ashton Ginty? Like, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. But when you're clicking on offense the way you are clicking on defense and special teams, look out. You're talking about a Super Bowl contender. So right now, are they a great team? No, they're a very good team. And a very good team, a well-coached team, a motivated team, they figure out ways to win. So go ahead, naysayers, say whatever you want about Bo Nix. You're just showing your ass. That's all you're doing. If you're running your mouth, and I had to talk to some Bo Nix haters today in the Denver media, and I was like, listen, you gotta change this thing. You gotta flip the script, because your station and your sound sounds really bad because it's just Bo Nix and Brock Bowers. Should have got Brock Bowers. Like, it's just preposterous that this is even out there. And he threw 3 picks today, and I'm not even, again, I don't even really care. He's a flipping rookie. And by the way, I compared him to Jared Goff when he came out. And I know, for whatever reason, God bless you, YouTube. And thank you for all of you out there to getting us to 16,000 subscribers. As the person who basically runs the YouTube channel for Denver sports, that was our goal. There was a bonus attached to that. So thank you. My daughter's college tuition. Thanks you. So we got our goal. We got our bonus because of you guys. But I've said that before, and I've seen YouTube comments be like, I'm sick of these comparisons for Bo Nix. Well, oh my God. Get as offended as you like. But when I compare him to Jared Goff, and Goff has 5 picks in a game and he still wins, what was that? Was that the Texans game for the Lions? Anyway, okay. Bo Nix going to throw some picks. All right. I actually don't mind that, especially when it's a win. I don't mind that because Bo's going to learn. He's a supercomputer. And I used to get made fun of for saying that. I don't know why. I'll sound like an aloha. I know why. People don't study football. They listen to Todd McShay or something, and they try to just pass it off as, well, I heard. No. When you studied Bo Nix, you knew that the dude was a supercomputer. I never know why that was always something people made fun of me for. But, like, I don't care. It's not about me. It's about this team and Bo Nix learning and growing and destroying the opponent. Like, that's what it'll be. Wait till it clicks with the kid. Wait till you can run the ball with the kid. Like, you need to help out the kid. And you could do that with better offensive game plans and better ground game. But this defense, we got to stay on the defense. I'll get to the offensive struggles in a little bit. But this defense and the frustrations that you felt, you had to, when you saw a little dust up there at the end, was that Kylan Granson? What are you doing, Michael Pittman? Like, what are you doing getting in on a little scrub, a little dust up there at the end? But the play of Brandon Jones with his 3 passes defensed. Brandon Jones also with an interception there. The play of Pat Surtain. Now, hopefully Surtain is okay. They called it an ankle thing. Chat room, tell me if I'm wrong or mistaken. It looked more like a thigh, like a quad thing. Jaleel McLaughlin also with the quad thing. So chat room, I got 300 comments. I'll catch up in a little bit. But they were calling it more like an ankle thing. And then he came back into the game in a blowout in a short week. That's not great, Bob. I would not have done that if I was Vance Joseph or Sean Payton. And a player's going to want to play. That's great. You have to make the decision for him. No, we're shutting you down. We're shutting you down. Pat Surtain, you're awesome. We're shutting you down. Got to play on Thursday. So hopefully he's okay for Thursday. Get a little bit ahead of herself. But just praising the defense, praising of Brandon Jones, of Pat Surtain. Both of them with picks there. Malcolm Roach doing work inside to help stuff Jonathan Taylor, as much as you can. Now 22 for 107. And Jonathan Taylor got over 100 yards. And as a team, they almost had a $150, 149, Anyway, so they ran the ball. You couldn't run the ball. But at the end of the day, you win, and you win big. So Malcolm Roach, big play there. Jonathan Cooper on one of the clutch plays of the game where Coop basically just goes for Richardson. I don't care if you hand it off in an RPO. You just go, it's called a mesh front, and you just go and you force them to make that call. And you're going to guess on a mesh, and he guessed right. Jonathan Cooper coming through. And I've heard some people say, like, I haven't seen Coop do anything since he got his big deal. Well, you're not watching. Pay attention, girl or guy. Pay attention, person, because Coop's making plays like he did today. And on that mesh where he just chose Richardson and he got Richardson and he brought him down. Great job, Coop. That's a great play. That's why he's well paid. And then Jaquan McMillan with his pass defense, with his play. We got Jonah Ellis got a couple of times out there, certainly on one of their big plays. Jonah Ellis got turned around a little bit. Dondre Tillman with a sack there. JFM, John Franklin Myers, some of the highest frustration comes from him because how many times did he have Richardson in his grasp? And the tighter that you grip, the more star systems will slip through your fingers. And Richardson slipped through the fingers of JFM, John Franklin Myers. But at the end of the day, they get the win, and he gets a couple of quarterback hits. He gets a half a sack on the day there as well. DJ Jones a little bit banged up in this one. PJ Locke always flying around making good plays. Zach Allen with 4 quarterback hits. That is amazing. And then, my goodness, Levi Wallace inactive for this game. And Chris Abrams drain. Kid, man. Good job. Good job. Getting his head around, standing up in key moments, coming up and making plays to knock the ball away. Chris Abrams drain. I still don't believe he's Chris Harris, but if he could kind of be like Chris Harris, that'd be pretty cool. So Chris Abrams drain. Hell of a game, kid. Hell of a game. That was simply fantastic and fun to watch a young player get that sort of opportunity to get targeted by a quarterback who doesn't know what he's seen. Again, and it kind of annoys me, if you can't tell, when we can't really call it like it is with players. And again, Richardson is a young player. Maybe he grows and develops, but right now he doesn't read the defense. And if you watch film and you study film, Richardson has tremendous natural talent, physical gifts, right? But as Scott McLuhan told me years ago, the physical stuff's easy to see. Yeah, he's got a big arm. He can't read the defense. But he still went after Chris Abrams' drain, and Abrams' drain responded. So good job on you. And then Nick Bonitto, man, Defensive Player of the Year. Is he the Defensive Player of the Year? I mean, he should be. Isn't that what you named Defensive Player of the Year for? You would not be in this situation. You would not have 9 wins on the season had it not been for the play of Nick Bonitto. Simply fantastic play from Nick Bonitto all over the place. All over the place. You love to see it from Bonitto out there. A half a sack, a tackle for a loss, quarterback hit, a touchdown, a fumble recovery, basically, that was for a touchdown. And my goodness, just his ferocious play, the ferocity of one Nick Bonitto. And then to just see that the play and to see that it's going to be thrown back. Now, that was my favorite play. As a quarterback, I couldn't really remember what the coach would tell me on the sidelines, so I just run from the sidelines to the huddle and make up whatever I wanted to call, which may be why I wasn't a favorite of my coach. Sorry, Coach Hodson. But I'd always call 36 OPQB drag because the ball got thrown back to me as a quarterback. I love that play. But you can read it if you know it's coming. And Nick Bonitto, he saw the pass over there. What was that? A.D. Mitchell gets the pass, turns around. He goes to throw it to Richardson and Nick Bonitto. And Surtain, watch that play. Bonitto's stunted at first. 2 guys on him. Stunts it at first. Surtain runs around, ends up following A.D. Mitchell, gets his hands up, and Richardson tries to sneak out. And Bonitto, with great awareness, because a lot of football is like, see ball, get ball. But you also need that field awareness and understand what could be coming. So Bonitto charges in. He's stunted. He kind of fights through. Surtain goes around the edge. So he sees his guy. And all of a sudden, out of the corner of his eye, Bonitto sees Richardson go out. And he goes, that's coming back to him. And he steps out in front. The blocker tries to put a hand on him, can't reach him. And Bonitto just scoops it in, bobbles a little bit, scoops it in, scores it. Beautiful play. Beautiful, man. This game was so weird. I was texting my buddy Luke Patterson. Shout out Luke, who's at the game today. And I was like, crazy blipping game. Crazy flipping game is what I said, except I didn't say flipping. Because he's at the game. And it was just an improbable victory based on the way that your offense was playing, but you won. So forget you. You're a Bo Nix hater? Forget you. You're a Denver Broncos hater? Forget you. A win is a win. And also, now, get ready for the chorus. I'll be the conductor here like Bugs Bunny. I'm going to conduct you. I'll leave my glove up in the air and it'll just keep conducting. Here comes the chorus of "They haven't beat anybody." Oh, blank off. Please, for the love of God, anyone that they haven't played anybody. Let's just rearrange their schedule, right? When they play the Chargers on Thursday, if they beat the Chargers, are you going to say they haven't played anybody too? If they face the Chiefs in week 18 and they're resting their starters because they're the number 1 seed, are you going to say they haven't played anybody? Are they going to face the Bengals and Joe Burrow? They're out of it. Or are they going to say you haven't played anybody? Like, seriously, we got to stop with this weak sauce. There's a bunch of nonsense, garbage takes, hot takes, if you will. Like, and again, that's people's opinion. Hey, you didn't play anybody. Yeah, okay, it's not great, Bob. Like, whatever. You have to play the schedule that is there in front of you, and the schedule that you've played, you've won 9 games. So forget you if you think, well, they haven't played anybody. What are you going to do? Postpone the season? You know, we really wanted to play this week, but the opponent isn't any good, so we're going to forfeit. Is that your answer? Does it mean they're a fraud? Like, seriously, now I'm getting mad. Maybe I should cut down on my caffeine intake. Now I'm getting mad because I hear that stupid nonsense about let them play anybody. Does it mean they are a fraud? At 9 wins, you can't fraud your way to 9 wins. Wake the hell up. You can't fraud your way to the playoffs. Now, are there teams that get to playoffs and get waxed because they're not there yet? Yes, of course. It happens every year. Will the Broncos be one of those teams? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm not predicting that. I'm not saying they're a Super Bowl team. I don't think they'll get waxed in the first round. We'll see if it's Baltimore or whatever. I'm not afraid of Baltimore. Not afraid of Buffalo. Not afraid of Pittsburgh. Not afraid of Houston. So, yeah, bring it on. Bring it on. And then we'll see. Well, now they played somebody and they get beat. Like, it's one of the dumbest things that somebody could say, because you can't change your schedule. Let's just change everything, right? Well, let's just fix this. They haven't. The Bills Lions. I heard that was a heater. Again, I'm watching the Broncos. Talking about the Broncos, I'll get to the Bills Lions when I recap the rest of the week with Sigmund Bloom on the Audible. Shout out Sigmund. But it's like, okay, you can't say, now play the Lions this week. The NFL is going to flex you into the Lions because you haven't played anybody. It's just ridiculous. This team is building confidence, and they're learning to win in ways that seem improbable. They're learning to win in ways that don't seem possible. They're learning to win together, even when the offense is stinking up the joint. Defense has some struggles. Anthony Richardson, tough to bring down. Jonathan Taylor, tough to bring down. What was it? Josh Downs Alec Pierce, excuse me. Was it Pierce? Pierce got a concussion? Yeah, Pierce got a concussion in this one. So, this was not a perfect game from the defense whatsoever. It was a nice second half. We'll say that. But it was not a perfect game. Your offense, just almost terrible. But you win, and you figure out a way to win, and that's what good teams do. That's what great teams do. So I think that the Broncos are not great, but they're very good, and they're on their way to being great. That's probably going to happen next year because you need to run the flipping ball, and they can't run the ball. This is why I say, and if you're new to the show, hi, new to the channel, I'm Cecil Lammey. I'm emotional and opinionated, and I believe in Lassie Barks. Lassie Barks mean I can't tell you what I know, but I can kind of tell you by doing a Lassie Bark. It's my belief that this team wants Ashton Gente. Now, it's also my belief they have no chance of getting him because we a top 10 pick. And don't give me, just like I just say, don't give me they haven't played anybody crap. Also, don't give me the running back in the first round crap. It's the most ignorant take of all time. Now, you want to talk about Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the first round? Sure. But he wasn't a first-round graded player. Jonathan Taylor was. And you see the impact. If the Chiefs drafted Taylor, their dynasty would be unstoppable. they're very stoppable now. They're trying to get it done. So, like, if you look at what the Broncos want to do, it's upgrade that backfield. And I believe, Lassie Barker, no, consider it whatever you want. They want Ashton Genty. It's going to be tough to do because he'll be a top 10 pick. And he should be. He is a blend of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery together. So, and that type of back you do take in the top 10. Just like Jahmyr Gibbs was, just like Christian McCaffrey was. Have there been misses? Sure. What? CJ Spiller was a top 10 pick, number 10 overall, I believe, top of my head. So, yes, but you can't draft scared. You can't live scared. You can't play football scared. You can't run a football team scared. I mean, what if Greg Penner was scared of Sean Payton because he's been out of the league for a year? And I don't know, maybe Sean Payton, just forget all that. It's a bunch of nonsense. When I hear people say it, usually those with microphones, I just roll my eyes. You can't take a running back in the first round. You can take that guy. You can take him in the first round, and you should get an opportunity. It's pretty good. Might want to hang on to this one. It's like the IOUs in Dumb and Dumber. Like, it's a Lamborghini, 150,000. Might want to hang on to that. By the way. Oh, this is notes on our YouTube channel. There you go. All right. There you go. Let's talk about this offense, and let's get to your chat room questions and comments. We got 500 chats or messages right now, and 1,600 people watching live. Thank you very much for that. It is Orange and Blue today, post-game live. I am Cecil Lammey, and I am a little perturbed that Bo Nix has to be the leading rusher. 23 yards. Now, in week, was that 7 against the Saints when he had 10 carries for 75 yards? Since that game, he's had 41 yards rushing. And today, he led the team in rushing with 23 yards on 8 attempts. You do not want that at all. I called for it on Dover and Cecil. I called for quick slants to Courtland Sutton. They were there. And then one of the interceptions was a sluggo, because I said, when you do a slant, then you can do a slant and go. So I want a sluggo. So they were doing quick slants. That was working. And then they went sluggo and it got picked off. Maybe Court was out of position or got pushed out of position. I'll examine the coach's tape. I said, if you wanted it with Troutman, it would be there. And not only was there with Troutman, it was there with Adkins for 2 touchdowns. So that was good. And then I was like, all right, the running game, whatever, just get over 100 yards. In fact, I put the number at 140. They got half that, Eddie. So that's not great, Bob. And I also called for Bo Nix to get like 4 carries. Like, they had gone away from it. And I wanted design runs for Bo where you're just reminding a team, like the Chargers. Right now, the Chargers are like, okay, I got to take care of Bo Nix as a runner. You have no problem with them running backs. You have no problem stopping Javonte Williams. Hell, he stops himself. You know how he stops himself? That. There will be a hole developing, and instead of like following the hole, stay on target, staying on track, Javonte will go like that. And he'll lose the momentum. He'll allow the defense to collapse. Holes open and close so very quickly in this league. So very quickly. So when the hole is opening, you have to time it to maximize, even if you have to get skinny, to get through that hole, to and through the hole. The timing of that is almost more important than what you can do after you get to the second level of the defense. Because if you can do that and time it properly and maximize your hole, don't have a dirty mind. When you can do that as a runner, then yeah, you're going to have yards after contact. Yeah, you're going to gash a defense. Yeah, you're going to, pick up 7, 8, 9, 10 yards regularly. That's what you're going to do. So with Javonte, he's his own worst enemy. He hardly ever just hits the hole. He's always doing some form of dancing. It's terrible. He's great at pass protection. He's okay as a receiver out of the backfield, but damn it, as a runner, you just got to be better. Estime has more of the hard charging attitude, but 5 carries, 13 yards, 2.6 a carry. None of this is outstanding. 2.5 a carry for Javonte, 2.6 for Estime on 5 carries, 3 yards a carry for Jaleel, who just simply can't break tackles. There were times when he'd take a shoulder and just fall down because that's what he's done. Now, there were a couple of times over the last 2 weeks where he's kept his feet upon contact. That's great. but it needs to be a weekly thing so he can get to like 60, 70 yards rushing. Today, he did get to 20. He got 21 yards on the ground. Big deal. That needs to be much more. Much, much more. I mean, today was a day. Bo Nix has 3 up and 3 down, 3 touchdowns, 3 INTs. 20 for 33 for 130 yards. Only sacked 1 time. But man, and he made Marvin work for him. Marvin was targeted 4 times and had 4 for 20. Marvin had to fight for like 3 of those because 2 of them, I believe his first 2 grabs were like way too high. So Bo was a little off. And I remember watching Bo run out there. I'm sitting next to Josh Dover. And we see Bo runs out like this with his hands in his hands warmer behind him. I said his hands are cold. Of course. Way to go, Captain Obvious. But when your hands are cold and you've already had a game in elements where you didn't look good, this was a windy game. This was a little colder game. I think the wind more than anything. But this was a game in elements, and we're just keeping track of that. There's 2 games in elements, 2 wins now. 2 wins. That's all that matters. But 2 games in elements, Jets and Colts, where Bo did not look as sharp. So put a pin in that. I'm not going to sit here and be like, Bo's the greatest ever and it doesn't matter. And I'm not going to lose my mind over 3 picks. But I am going to tell you the truth and get offended as you like. The truth isn't meant to make you feel good. The truth of the matter is when we've had elements within a game, Bo Nix has not looked as good. Now, perhaps logically, people would say, well, of course. I mean, it's windy. He's going to look a little off. Or it's the Jets game. It's a flipping monsoon. Of course he's going to look a little off. I'm fine with those observations. I don't see anything wrong with those observations or those opinions being structured like, well, of course, Josh Allen in elements or whatever. Maybe that's a bad example. But for me, I just want to put a pin in it and just kind of keep that as part of the conversation. Like, what do we know about Bo? What do we know about Bo? It didn't look like Bo today. Passes were off, getting picked off, not in rhythm, not on time. He did run. Didn't seem like any of them were designed runs, but he ran 8 times. Don't want to see that. Want to see him run 4 times for similar amount of yardage. 5 yards carry. It's great. It's fine. Slide. Just don't get hurt. But it was interesting to note in a coldish day and a windy day, Bo's passes were all over the place. And receivers had to work for him. There was the one to Franklin in the end zone where he probably should have thrown it short. Not every pass was a dud. Even the incompletion can be a beautiful throw. And it wasn't incompletion because the Colts defender made a play because Bo put it right in the bucket. Had Bo put it a yard short, it would have been pass interference ball on the 1. But Bo put it right in the bucket, and Franklin didn't haul it in. His defender had his arm right there, basically in the basket, Defender put his arm right there, and it broke up the play. That was a great throw. That was 1. And it was incomplete, by the way. But there were many throws from Bo that were just off the mark. The Mims ones stand out because Marvin's short, so they were high passes. Like, tips and overthrows, you got to get those. Those are dangerous, dangerous throws. So again, not losing my mind. Don't at me, bro, in the comments. 568 comments now. Don't at me. You just hate Bo Nix. Nope, not the case. But I'm also not going to just be like, Bo's the greatest ever, right? Hey, Bo didn't have a great game today. I'm not losing my mind. The 3 picks I don't even care about. I want him to learn because I know off of those 3 decisions, poor decisions, terrible decisions, and maybe 2 of those were on court, but whatever. Let's just say each one of those are on Bo because it leaves your hand. And if it leaves your hand and the next person that touches is a defender, that's you. So, and Bo will take responsibility for it. I know that about that young man. What I enjoy about it, though, also is this, that he's going to take responsibility for it and he's going to learn. I want Bo to learn, much like in life. Football is about learning. If we went through life and we didn't make mistakes, 1, it would be awesome. But 2, we wouldn't learn crap. But when we make mistakes like, oh man, shouldn't have done that. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. I want Bo to grow. And he grows through failure. He has success through failure. Success is the antithesis of failure. You have to fail to understand how to succeed. You have to throw picks so you understand how not to throw picks and what a defense is throwing at you. And they did some very middle of the field close stuff. Nothing exotic from the Colts. This is first half's observations, and I'll tell you more from the second half when I watch the coaches' tape. But they did so much middle field close, and middle field close means high safety, single high safety, and it means there's a lot of people around the line of scrimmage, basically daring Bo to beat you. It's like, okay, but why do you commit to stuff the run when they can't run? Are you going to see more cloud coverage? So you've seen a mix. Like, how do you want to treat Bo Nix? The Colts treated Bo Nix like a rookie. Other teams have respected his arm and have backed off and played cloud coverage and kind of let the run. You know, the Chargers' key to winning on Thursday is just let Javonte Williams beat you because he can't. And for the fans out there, like, I love Javonte. That's fine. You can love Javonte all you want. He can't beat you anymore. He's just, the quarterback is toast. The running back is toast. Again, that's just the God's honest truth. So with Bo Nix, I want him to fail because I know he can succeed from his failures. I want him to throw picks because I'll know he'll learn from them. And you don't throw a bunch of picks and don't keep throwing picks and learn from that. That's the most important thing, is fix it. I believe Bo Nix will fix it. And he'll get better and he will improve because he had made mistakes. Those are on him for sure. For sure. But I look at this game and I just simply point to, you can't run the ball. And if you want to have playoff success, as this team feels destined for the playoffs, is you need to run the ball. You need to find a way. And I don't care if that's Tyler Bidet. I don't care if it's Blake Watson. I don't care if it's Audric Estime getting more of a chance. Again, Jaleel McLaughlin a little banged up, a little quad injury. We'll know more later. You have to run the ball in the postseason. If the Broncos do that, they will be one of those one-and-done teams. So away we go. Away we go, Broncos. That's for sure. Ha! My buddy Keith says, what a colossal mistake by Taylor. That's right. Jonathan Taylor just shifting momentum for this team. The Broncos could have fought back. Let's say Taylor does score on that. And what would it have been? A 13-point lead, whatever the number is. The Broncos could have been fine and they could have won. And maybe it's 27-21 like I thought it would be, or whatever the number is. Like, however you want to work out the math. Don't at me, bro. But just that sort of momentum to rob you of 7 points, to gift you the ball. And the Broncos took advantage. And they didn't do that all the time because of all the turnovers. This was a sloppy game. This two teams kind of out of bye, looked like they needed a bye. And it was sloppy. It was ugly football. But I look at this and like, you didn't capitalize off those turnovers until you did. Until your defense just said, we'll just do it ourselves. Nick Bonitto. What a game. What a game. All right, I got 619 comments, so I better get to some before I get out of here today. And it feels good. It feels weird. It's weird. But remember, it's only weird if you make it weird. And that's right. Broncos country here to react to this game. And as Mike says, Taylor mistake swung the momentum. That's right. Oh, yes, that is correct. Edward says need to draft the running back. That's going to be coming. Now, is that Devin Neal in the third round? And is that Ashton Gente in the first round? Who knows? But that will be coming for sure. Because they're just not running the ball. Not running the ball. Mims and Bonitto swung it as well. That's right. That's right. Mims and Bonitto getting it done and doing absolutely great things for this team. And that's the sign of teams that want something. That's a sign of teams that want the greatness that comes with postseason football. Nick Bonitto wants to go to the postseason. And you see it in his play every single week. If there's one thing I can rely on, it's the play of Nick Bonitto. Devin in the chat room says, need to start Estime, at least give him more opportunities. Need a spark. Bidet. Yeah, it could be Bidet. It could be Estime. I'm not out of it with Estime. I did want him to have 41 carries over the last 4 games. He had 5 today. He needs to average 10-ish because he had 41 carries entering this game. And with 4 games left, I wanted him to double that total. You need to see if Audric Estime is the guy or just part of being a rotation. Is he the guy or is he backup to Ashton Genty? Is he a backup to Devin Neal? You got to see it. You can't see it with 5 carries. Sean Payton's even said that at his press conference. Like, it's hard to judge someone on 5 touches. You can change that, Sean. You're the guy that changes that. So, that's right. Keith says, is that a jumbo DT card in the background? I don't believe so. Which one are you talking about? Batman, Save the Cat. There's a foil Tech 27, not the real Tech 27. Chewbacca, Bender, and me and Bloom from an artist on Futurama that listens to our podcast. One of my comic books, Gun Discipline there. Another one of my comic books, Sue Immortal right here. Mike Lorenzo cover. More of my comics right there. Yeah, I don't know where the DT card is, but anyway. Enough of that. And enough of, what do we got? Leo in here in the chat room talking about Bolles being jittery. Like, all right, dude. You're totally right. When someone says something ridiculous, just start agreeing with them. What? Bo's going to disappoint? Sure. Hey, Todd McShay said Bo had a 3rd-round grade. Yeah. It's preposterous. It's stupid. Chat room's letting him have it, so that's good. Don't get personal. But yeah, like, get out of here with that nonsense, man. Bo's the man. And Beavis says, what's going on with Damari Mathis? He was trending up last year, and now he's a ghost. He was out there making some plays. Did think he got interfered with one time. And I'll say this. Damari lost his confidence. And it's key for a corner to not do that. But he did do that last year. And I won't say Beavis, and Beavis, you're a real one. You're in the chat room a lot. I won't say he was trending up last year. It's just like you wanted to see a little bit more, and then you just didn't. And I believe it's his confidence being shaken, not stirred. But I've always liked his game. I applauded the pick when they made the pick. He's a physical player. If you don't have a short memory, though, this league will chew you up and spit you out. And that seems to be what it's done for Damari Mathis. Nick Bonitto, Defensive Player of the Year. Hell yeah. I'd take that all day. Hope Surtain is okay. That's right, Casey Mack. I didn't want Surtain to come back in after the Downs hit. And watching that more, I guess we're lucky, I would say. Downs could have taken his knees out. Downs did a really good job, and you're flying as fast as you can, and Surtain was not down. So he gets back up. He allows himself to be hit, right? So Surtain gets back up. Downs hits him right in the thigh pads. Now he has PS2 thigh pads. Now, here's the super nerdy part as I'm surrounded by comic book stuff. And Save the Cat, which is the greatest screenwriting book ever. Here's my super nerdy part. So he has a PS2 controller on one of his thigh pads. It's actually a PS3 controller. You can tell by the select button. Does that mean I'm a nerd? Sure. I've always wanted to tell Pat that, but you also, it's kind of like, don't be that guy, you know? We're like, well, that's not really a PS2 controller. But it is a PS3 controller. Anyway. Downs hits him right in the thighs. Downs could have went just a little bit lower, and he could have ended his season. And based on where we are in the calendar, he could have ended 2 years for him. Because the knee injury will take 12 months, unless you're Adrian Peterson. So if Downs had gone a little bit lower, we're talking disaster play. And nobody wants to see that. Downs wouldn't want to see that, you know? But it was a good legal hit from downs. And because it was in his thighs and not just that much lower, it's, hopefully it's just a little ankle thing or maybe a little quad, like a bruise. Like that looked like it hurt. It's like Martin Lawrence and Bruce Blue Streak, right? This is going to hurt. That's what that was. So there you go. All right, chat room, going back to the chat. And I agree with this, Wes. They would have lost these 2 games last year. And that's the discipline that you don't get when you look at this situation with where the Broncos at. Like last year, they were just kind of like average and the defense went nuts. And that's why they went on a roll. But they were an average team. They weren't a good team and they weren't a very good team. They were an average team. And I don't think average is good. Good's like a B. Average is like a C. So they were like a C or C minus team. This year, I think they're like a B plus team. So they're very good. They're not great. But you can tell that they're very good because they win games like this. And this is another reason why, thanks to Bo Nix and Sean Payton, the Mile High Magic is back. Because Magic, and I've asked this question, I've answered this question. I'll talk about it tomorrow on Dover Cecil again as well. Magic is something that is seen as impossible or you can't understand it. It's unrecognizable. That's why I like technology. I go back in time. I'm a Samsung guy. Sorry. I don't get the whole Apple thing, but of course I'm a car guy. So if you're a Ford guy, you're like me. And if you're not a Ford guy, well, I do respect other cars, not all cars. But I don't get the people like, I'm an Apple guy. Oh, good for you, bud. How's that working out? But anyway, if I were to take my Samsung Note and go back to the Stone Age, I would be a wizard and in need of a charger. But like technology is seen as magic to those who can't comprehend how it works. Mile High Magic means we won. How did we win? I don't know. We won. That's magic. So the Mile High Magic has returned. It was not there last year. It's there now. Where you're down. I mean, Jonathan Taylor scores that touchdown, and the stadium is silent. You can hear a pin drop. And then they review the play, and Taylor's letting go of the ball before he crosses the line. And it's amazing. And then the Nick Bonitto, throwback, technically fumble recovery, return for a touchdown. The place is going bonkers. Bo Nix throws that touchdown. Courtland Sutton, place going bonkers, right? That's the magic. That's what's returned. And that's why, Wes, I agree with you. They would have lost this game last year. Last year, they weren't good. This year, they're very good. They're not great, but they're very good. And that's a big deal. Edward says OBT is the best. Thank you, Edward. Mike says congrats. Thank you. Nightmare. By the way, that's a cool way to spell it. Nightmare says Bo Nix is growing. I'm here for all of it. Exactly. With growth comes growth pains. If you're complaining about Bo Nix's 3 picks as some sort of hot take or see he can't play, you're just dumb. And I hate to be that succinct with something, but if anyone, and I don't care if it's a fan or somebody in the chat room, I think it was Leo, that was Bo Nix is just jittery. All right. That's just not the case at all. It's not a grasp of reality. I would at least like, no matter your opinion, for you to grasp reality. And the reality is Bo Nix is a franchise quarterback. And the reality is sometimes you're going to have a 3-pick game. What do you learn from it? Is Bo Nix doing this every single week? The answer is no. They haven't played anybody. Another dumb take. Bo Nix, 3 picks. Yeah, okay. If you're upset about that, that's dumb. Don't be dumb. Don't be in a cult. 2 rules in life. Let's look at the flip side. Anthony Richardson. Way more physical talent than Bo Nix. Huge arm. Huge prospect. Very strong. He can't read a defense. So what do we have that's a constant with Anthony Richardson? He throws picks. He can't read a defense. He doesn't complete passes. He's only been above 50% passing 2 times this year. Okay, so that's what we have with Anthony Richardson, AR5, and he taps out of games when he's seepy, when he's tired. With Bo Nix, lots of picks to begin with, 4 in 2 games. Might want to fix that. Then a bunch of games with no picks, then a couple here, and then a couple here. Okay, it's not constant. It's not something that we always look at. It's him learning. It's him growing. When you have growing pains, it's pain. And then you learn. The best lessons in life are those that are learned through failure, because those will resonate with you. Those will stick with you. You'll remember those. Remember, Simba. You'll remember those, Bo Nix. Bo Nix hates that he threw 3 picks. Bo Nix knows what the haters say. Now, he doesn't care, but he knows it. They've hated him since Auburn. They hated him since he failed at Auburn. Although I've had Auburn people, staff basically, say that it was the coaching staff that screwed him over. He's failed before, and he's thrived because of it. He failed in this game, and they still won 31-13. Think about that. So before you get all up in your feelings about Bo Nix is, oh my God, they took our jobs. Like, Bo Nix is learning and he's growing. And we all, like a nightmare, again, that's a cool way to spell it. Yeah, that's what you should expect. If he did this every week, you'd be saying, oh, crap. The kid's making rookie mistakes. Yeah, he does it in this game. Okay. Bet he doesn't do it against the Chargers. Bet he doesn't do it on Thursday night. Yeah, and Jacob, I agree with Jacob right here. We knew there would be next games like this. Yes, if you're smart, if you're dumb, you think Bo Nix is terrible and Todd McShay said 3rd round grade and Brock Bowers, blah, 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 blah. That's dumb. But if you're smart, you knew, hey, he's a rookie. There's going to be some rookie stuff. But you won. Bo's play, which was not great, Bob, did not cost you the game. You won. 31-13, you won. There's no need to nitpick this stuff. Dean says, Mama said there's be days like this. That's right. That's right. I like this from Dennis. Dennis is a real one. Appreciate you, Dennis, man. One of our largest supporters on YouTube. And comment down below. Chat room comments are great, but comment on the video down below. That lets the YouTube algorithm go, hey, people like this video. Keep learning, keep growing, keep working. Always grateful. Have a great night, everyone. Go Bo Broncos. Thank you, Dennis. Appreciate you. Gabe, see, this is perfect. Gabe is perfect here. Gabe, you're perfect. Nix threw 3 T's in the worst game. I'll take it. Think about that, right? That gets the Keanu kiss right there. That's the perfect comment right there. Everybody, this is the perfect. Everyone in the chat room, be like Gabe. Be smart like Gabe. Because that is incredible. This was Bo Nix's worst game of the year. He threw 3 picks. He threw 3 touchdowns. Like, again, sometimes the 25,000-foot view is the best view, right? Maybe all the time it is. Because you just step away from it and be like, man, Bo had a really terrible night. They won 31-13. Third. Bo had a really terrible night. They won 31-13. Bo had a really terrible night. He threw 3 picks. And he threw 3 touchdowns. What? That's perfect. Gabe, thank you. Thank you. What was that? The Michael Scott thing from Office? Where you're like, thank you. Gabe, thank you. Bonitto, dollar bills. Y'all. Yes, that's right. Nick Bonitto's going to get paid. Sam says, what's the latest on Riley Moss? Not going to play against the Chargers. That's a guess. I believe the Bengals game, he will be back. Again, guess there. Ooh, Mimsburn. I like that. Little tough to say, Mimsburn. It sounds like something you should get a shot for. Yeah, I was in college and I got that Mimsburn, but the doctor gave me some penicillin, cleared right up. Gotta watch out for them college years. Milburn 2.0. And Glenn was always really, really nice. Who was it? Who was the first round pick the year that Glenn Milburn was drafted as well? Was it Thomas? Something Thomas? The big defensive tackle. I remember I went to a card show in Denver. It was like 93 or whatever, 92. And Milburn was there, and then the big man was there. Why can't I remember his name? It's like a super common name. And Milburn was like super nice, took his time, and the other guy was just like sign next, which is, whatever. I've signed some autographs, but it's like, take the time with the fans, man. And the fact that Glenn Milburn was that friendly, I always appreciated that. In chat room, let me know who it was, who the big defensive tackle was. He's from a small school, Toledo, small school guy. It's not Daniel Thomas. I can't remember his name. This is what happens when you get an old brain and then you drink too much Mountain Dew Zero. I feel like Napoleon Dynamite drinking the Gatorade. Hunting Wolverines. I sound like Eric Dalala. Anyway, now 31 games without a 100-yard rusher. I Leave and Bonitto and Bo Nix. That's right. And Sean just doesn't trust Estime. That's damn right. That's right. Need a 100-yard back. Great resilience today. Again, how many teams have Broncos passed from Super Bowl 50 to now would have been like, oh, here we go again. How many teams would have been like, well, here's Bo throwing a bunch of picks. Oh, we're out of it. Here we go again. They stayed with it. They showed balls. They had resiliency. I like that. Any updates? I'm on air right now, so I'm sure Coach has said something about him. I'll look it up. We'll have Orange and Blue today. Tomorrow we'll have Dover and Cecil, everything that we do on Denver Sports, 104.3 The Fan. So thank you. Vegas Larry says Josh Allen didn't set the league on fire his first year. Rookie quarterbacks need to grow. Just give him time. This is rookie Bo. What's fifth-year Bo look like? MVP? Someone will write that down. Where's Brian at? Media critic in the chat room. He's probably saying something about BK, Dion, and the abs. He loves all of them. So Brian in the chat room, write this down. December 15th, 2024. I am saying by December 15th, 2030, Bo Nix will have one NFL MVP. Right? Is that crazy? I don't think so. So let's see. Make it happen. If they somehow landed Gente in the draft, it'd be one happy camper. They'll have to move up about 10, 15 spots. Now you do that. You do it usually for a quarterback, but we'll see. A lot of teams will be after Ashton Gente, as you should be. He's a damn fine pick. Feels like Sean isn't comfortable playing the rookies. Somewhat. He's not comfortable with the rookie running back, Audric Estime, that's for sure. Troy Franklin's not necessarily got benched, but they're just using Mims more. Mims is making plays. They're letting the kids play this year for the most part, which is a good thing. Chris Abrams-Drain looked really, really good out there. So there you go. More dumb comments from Leonard in the chat room. That's fine. Yeah, and Casey Max says this, Leonard is a troll. When a troll is a troll, you just go, okay, I know what you're doing. You're trolling. Do you feel better? I always wonder that with trolls. I'm like, do you sleep well at night? Do you say something mean to someone on Twitter and then you can, so I said Bo was a fraud. Oh, so good. Like, I don't understand that. So whatever. I'm not gonna waste my time on that. What you focus on grows. So why do we focus on bad stuff or dumb stuff? I like that. Watch me squatch. Bo's worst game. 3 interceptions, 3 touchdowns. Fine by me. 21 points. That's right. And what a huge game by Marvin Mims. Give it up to Marvin Mims. I'm so glad Levi Wallace was shut down. We'll see. Well, I like the fact that Levi was stand up in the locker room this week when we got to talk to him, because a lot of guys would like shy away from that or hide from the media. There's players that do that, by the way. I won't tell you who, unless I do, but whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Need Moss back, that's for sure. That is for sure. Tyler says, Cease, your source for Broncos and PS controller analysis. That's right. Should we be worried anytime Surtain is not healthy? Yes. I don't want to sound like an alarmist, but I was asked by, I can't pronounce your name and I'm sorry. Nice kitties though. Should we be worried? Yeah, it's Pat Surtain. I mean, look at how bad they are without Riley Moss. What would they be like without Pat Surtain? And I say bad, and they still made Anthony Richardson look like Anthony Richardson. So there you go. Yeah, tweaked an ankle. Tony's right here. Looked like a little tweaked ankle. I would have kept him out of the game after the interception. That's just me. Simba says Down's a dirty little rat. I'm not sure about that because, again, if he was dirty, he would have taken out his knees. He could have 100% almost ruined Pat Surtain's season and maybe career. So, Simba, I will say this, and I'm not a Josh Downs defender, but a dirty little rat, he hit him right in the thighs. If he'd have went a little bit lower, he destroys his knees, like destroys both knees. It was bad. Bad. So KC says we need a tight end. The problem, or I guess the addendum, would be tight ends take 3 years, and there's no Brock Bowers. Because everyone's saying, Tyler Warren. Okay, great. Tyler Warren is a great player. I love the low-hanging fruit that is, you know what they need? Tyler Warren. Okay, well, in 2028, he'll be awesome. I need someone that can be awesome right now because Bo Nix is ready to win a Super Bowl right now. In 2025, Bo Nix and the Broncos will be Super Bowl contenders. I need someone that's a contender right now. I don't need Tyler Warren in 3 years. It was a great pick when they're paying Bo Nix. I need them to be great when they're not paying Bo Nix. Now. I'm like the cop in Die Hard, minus all the Twinkies and the diabetes. I need backup now. Now, damn it, now. Bo Nix needs backup now. Now, damn it, now. You can't give us an A minus. I think we did our grades. I think I gave him a B plus. So yeah, B plus, Keith. Hey, B plus. I was a C and D student in high school, and I didn't go to class in community college for a year. So yeah, B plus, I'd take that all day. And I think A minus is a little orange and blue colored glasses, and I just don't wear those. I know people have called me a homer, which is weird. I always get the debate about, you're really a Broncos fan. Like, whatever, man. By the way, programming note, before I'm out of here today, I'm going to look it up. So I apologize for looking at my phone and not looking at you directly as I do the show. I get to do one of the coolest things that I've wanted to do forever and ever and ever and ever. Because I grew up on the East Coast of Colorado, and I grew up very poor. Very poor. And it was always a thrill to go to Salvation Army and shop, because we shopped at secondhand stores. So there was a secondhand store in Greeley that we shopped at. I've told the story about, how I'd get a Terry Bradshaw jersey for $0.25 in 1990 or whatever. So those were always, fantastic and great memories, and just kind of the excitement of like, hey, we got to go spend some money. Not a lot of money, because we didn't have a lot of money. We had a lot of love, and that's that. But tomorrow from 2 to 4, now I'm on the air till 2, so I'll be there at about 2:15. But tomorrow from 2 to 4, this is for us local folks here, at the King Supers on a University in Highlands Ranch Parkway, 9551 South University, Highlands Ranch. I get to ring the bell. I'll try to refrain from getting emotional because I don't think anyone wants to see me cry. Every year when I see the bell ringers, I always carry cash. I don't carry cash the rest of the year, but I'll carry cash because when I see the bell ringer, I want to donate. And I want to donate to the Salvation Army specifically. because again, there was 2 secondhand stores in Greeley that we'd go to shop at. And I kind of get a little pissed. I have a cousin, and I hope she's not watching. But I love her dearly, but she's like mega rich, right? Like mega rich. And she'll go like, I'm thrifting at Goodwill. I'm like, the poor people need that. But as someone who was incredibly, incredibly poor, like I ate corn for a whole semester. That was it. um to have the opportunity to now myself ring that bell and hopefully get people to donate or throw some cash in the bucket. It truly, truly is a blessing. It's one of the many blessings that I feel like I have, and the opportunities that I have with this job. A job, job type job. It's going to be me and Mike Evans. So you want to come out and see me and Mike Evans again, 2 to 4 p.m. And it's at the King Supers on University and Highlands Ranch Parkway, 9551 South University Boulevard in Highlands Ranch. I'll be there about 2:15 to 4. And then we'll do Orange and Blue today, 4:15, 4:30, something like that. Maso will jump on board with me. But I wanted that programming note just because of what that means to me. It means so much to me to be able to ring the bell and be at the bucket. And it means everything to me. And I hope that I hope I get to see you tomorrow. I hope I get to see you again. King Supers, University and Highlands Ranch Parkway, 9551 South University Boulevard, Highlands Ranch. So I get to ring the bell. And we got our bonus for 16,000 YouTube subscribers. Thank you all very much for that. I'm actually 6 minutes late, but whatever. I wanted to get that in. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for everything. Really, really appreciate it. I mean, it's good to have sports as a great unifier in a time where things maybe less so now, but there's certainly a feel of division in certain portions of our lives. It's nice to have the great unifier that is sports, that is the holiday season, that is Christmas time, Hanukkah time, Kwanzaa time, whatever, happy holidays, happy new year, all that kind of stuff. It's just great for us to come together and to be there for each other. So Broncos country, good on you. Appreciate you all very much. I am Cecil Lammey saying, thanks for watching. Love you all. Stay tuned. And would you please stay frosty?